ESL Mobile Challenge is brought to you by DHL and Pay Safeguard.
Hello everyone, welcome to the ESL Mobile.
And the AC Milan Clash continued their win streak last week. However, it was a really close one. You know,
These two is Brazier, Mori, and Maru, an incredible squad here. I'll say.
Yeah, will history repeat itself? But the bans are in, and interesting bans actually. Again, that
Seems to be how it works for SK Gaming. But in terms of a catter from us, apart from the casting, of course. But let's get straight into the games, going to the second match of the day. First game, first set between these two Titans. And let's see what TOTEM can do in comparison to their last series. They did lose out 3-2 in their last engagement, but let's see if things are going to be a little bit differently this time round for TOTEM. As already, Clash have had a great start.
yeah, a really solid start. And bring that Piper as well was a bold pick I quite like, actually. The Penny, though, we have seen from Reply Totem recently, and I don't underestimate it. I mean, I wasn't really sold on it at first until I saw just how effective it could be. It's obviously one of those things which you got to get down early, which Sword Presser has, really, with just a 25%, 20% in it at the moment. And there's that turret coming into play now and giving a lot more area control. Look at that, connecting with our Chaos, and then the follow-up there. So, you know, this is something we've not really seen any teams experimenting with. But one thing that I've got to say, I think it's a very underrated thing to have. Gear is going to focus on it now. But already, you know, Sword Presser's got the next one lined up.
Oh, that's a little bit of a shame there. TOTEM managed to outslay Clash over his last 30 seconds, but just got to the objective a little bit too late here. But Brazier managed to take down Gia there, and Chaos now just having a little bit of a duel with Mori. Just doing running around Rosie, just trying to dance his way back and forth to see if he can get a shot off, but at the same time make them waste their ammunition if possible. But Mori just being extremely aggressive here. They managed to get out of there somehow, some way, but Chaos now pushed all the way back up. Mori has recovered, they can push on a little bit further. Brazier does take down Gia once again. Maru's on 122 HP. Mori is just barely staying alive himself, and Lenan managed to take down one, not the other, and Maru is still alive.
I see Sippy in the chat saying, why do they keep bringing in Penny, SMH? Well, because it works. I've never seen them actually lose a game with it. So it's definitely a concern for Clash. They're focusing on taking it down and looking at the scoreline at the moment. You know, this is a rare thing to see Clash not being in control in Hot Zone. Ultimately, Maru can just hold the mid, Cycle get to his next super. Chaos can connect with a little bit, but not the full amount. Sword Presser coming back now, and this is exactly what Reply Totem had to do early on. Coming out with some exciting ideas, some new, fresh things that Clash maybe weren't expecting. Very aggressive as well. What a great start for Totem.
Very impressed. You know what? Even the objective efficiency for the TOTEM could have been a lot better in terms of for the kills as you're pushing it, and they still managed to win by a large margin. It was quite surprising to say the least. And I think what the main thing about that game that we've seen in comparison to before is the fact that the players on Totem are valuing their deaths a lot more in comparison. They're trying to survive to their best of their ability. And sometimes it's the battle of survival rather than just doing the most amount of damage. So you can distract enough to let your teammates give you the support that you desire later on. Okay, you say that as well. It's the fact that with the ball itself, you're like, yeah, it's all right still. It's all right, especially, you know, considering the composition. And, you know, you weren't right, though. Absolutely. You know, it's just a little bit of a surprise pick. But, you know, if it works in their favour, they've obviously clearly practiced it in scrims in the past. And they're not already pushed all the way in. Even did some damage to Mori as well. Mori just barely able to stay alive. But a great flank from him, having to try and pull Chaos back from the objective. But Chaos isn't falling for it. He's going to sit back and make sure he can get as much percentile as possible with that Rosa. And Gia just gets mopped at the floor straight away as he's pushing towards the objectives. But Mori is still there, just doing so much work. That one flank, that one move he did has made all the difference so far. And it takes a Lenan straight afterwards.
That is absolutely tapping. The problem's going to be with Chaos, but this is a perfect strategy from Clash. Exactly what I said they had to do. They had to come in with something tanky, something beefy, something to close the gap on the turret and really focus on that. But I don't know whether this is going to be enough right now. I mean, again, Totem are slightly behind here, but seem to be playing this perfect. Mari is so focused on Gia because that is really the key to keeping Chaos in the mix here. Dancing around him as his shots are relatively slow in comparison. And he's doing so much work. It needed to do rightly so for these takedowns, but it is working. TOTEM are closing the gap, and Clash are going to really have to just keep on that zone now. Now it's just going to have to dance around this turret whilst remaining in the zone to keep this game alive, really.
Oh, that was very difficult for Clash. They went as a wolf pack, but the problem was TOTEM had all the angles covered. It's just a matter of prioritization for Clash. They did succeed, but now they're on the back foot once again. Only an 8% difference between both of these Titans now. And Chaos in that left lane, trying to get the flank on with DeRosa. Will he be able to succeed? As Maru is so weak. Does manage to back away, and look how much health Chaos is on. But in the meantime, two players are already down for TOTEM. Lenan takes out the final one. This could be game here, and it will be a tied set. Depending on the circumstances or what TOTEM are going to do at the very last second, they will not be able to. But that's now going to be a tied set now with Clash coming back.
Play really, I think it was from Lenan, really cleared up things and gave Clash the edge there, because that was definitely not going to be going their way. Despite doing those changes, which I suggested would be a good way to go in with, it almost wasn't enough. And that's really quite scary when you think about it, really. But we are all tied up then, and Clash are going to have to continue those with that idea, but I don't know, it's kind of working.
I know what you mean, yeah, changes. Respect to Mori as well. Like, that one crucial flank he made earlier on when he was in that 1v3 scenario, he succeeded and also just had great map presence overall. But that was the last game. Let's get back into last game of this first set, as the traders already come out, as Lenan's going to try and push in a little bit more with that Stu, and Chaos is coming to play as well, just keeping Maru back, made him down to just under 1600 HP. Now he's actually just over 800, just trying to recover if he can, but just not giving him that choice or that chance, you could say, to be able to make that first move. But as I said that though, Brazier does take down one, and you can see Mori just down below on that south side trying to be a real pain in the backside. Will he be able to take down Chaos? No, he does not, but they do get the objective.
I really like this coming from Clash. I think that if they are going to be able to bring it back, this is the comps to do so with. Chaos is a fantastic sprout, and I think Lenan doing a smart thing here, just kind of matching this new idea. All going in there. There you see the combination between the Lu and the Penny. Lenan was just frozen on the spot, which allowed the Penny to focus on him, the turret that is, and then you see how just that takedown can just cycle in accordingly there. And Reply TOTEM now are really getting their feet stuck into the soil there. Chaos is going to have to continue this pressure as the main control brawler for the team. But again, that turret is going to be now shooting on less actual area space, and that's going to be a bad thing for Clash.
Certainly is indeed, as Gia and Chaos both in the objective, whilst Lenan in that left lane just trying to do wonders if possible, going in some great flanks here, doing a fair amount of damage and just being a real pain in the backside, as Chaos has taken down Brazier, and now Clash has overtaken the lead. Mori in that left lane trying to go for that crucial flank on the south side like he had done before. He's managed to get one, does get traded out, and only 5% is required for Clash. Is going to keep Brazier and Maru back, and Clash will take the first set with a pretty nice comeback.
Very nice indeed. Very close, got to say. The aggressiveness of the comp was better, and more control based from them, and it definitely paid them dividends. They really thought through the situation. They could see the same stubbornness with TOTEM's pick for the Penny, and they had to kind of learn from how, because Mario was playing a fantastic Stu in the lead up to that. Coming back a little bit, it kind of shifted out, and now it's coming back. And sometimes even 8-bit as well, and actually max for Clash and Colt. I like that. And look at TOTEM bringing in the Penny again, and this is actually a good map for it as well. So it's just interesting to see that TOTEM really are staying firm with this idea that Penny is the new meta in EU, and I kind of reluctantly would sway towards agreeing for the most part, but I think that Clash are getting much more tuned in and savvy to it, and are going to focus on that as a takedown. And you see Gay opening up that left-hand side immediately, because that would have been a great place to put a turret.
Certainly would be indeed. Lenar on 72 HP. Brazier will clean them up though. Overstayed his welcome just a tad in that left lane, but it's completely understandable from the position he was in and what he was up to. Chaos will get taken down as well in that right lane. And now this could be a chance for Maru just to be a real nuisance here, just get as much map presence as possible. But I love that from Lenar, just waiting for Chaos just to push up just slightly on spawn onto that left side, just to give him a little bit of leadway, which he does manage to finish him off. Brazier pops in, says hello to the safe, says goodbye straight afterwards, takes down quite a few percentile to give them a little bit more leadway. And now Clash need to try and find 33% in order to catch up.
Yeah, it's a really, really good start. Let's see now as Clash are in a much better position to get some damage on. Gear's got super as well, and that could be a great thing to open up the map. Yeah, there you go, just to kind of see where everyone is and have no there be any secrets or good amount of damage. But I do like the return from Reply Totem. Again, that Penny turret is doing a lot of work now. Coming into play here, Lenan has to get it taken down on the right-hand side. Mari's super low here as well. A nice pickup from Mari with the homemade recipe. And now coming through the mid, a chance for Totem then to get a ton of damage.
And Gia taking down Matt Colette. It was so important just to delay those pushes ever so slightly. Brace is going to come straight back and thinking about pushing towards that left lane and then just trying to entertain Lenar a little bit as well as Chaos. Chaos has taken so much damage from all three players from multiple angles, and Gears just trying to stay alive with that cut. If he takes out Mari, that will be huge. Even though it's a trade, that's enough to try and keep him at bay now. But look at this, Totem are up by 7%. A push needs to come in from Clash, and the push does come in, and Lenar's also just doing some extra damage to the safe, just in case they come in with that Colette super. 10 seconds left, 15% to find. Maru is super weak, as Maru and Brazier are going to try and push in here. If he does the super and do extra damage for Mori, that could be okay. And, oh, he literally, I think he just missed it barely, no?
A lot of body blocking going on. It's going to be very close either way you look at it. I mean, better picks, I do. But I do think that ultimately it's very hard to play up against a team like Clash and have the scorelines be as close as they are. Penny is a viable brawler here. It's just not the go-to in the current meta. It's just cutting it just a little bit short for them at the moment. As you know, a team like Clash are quite quick to it and quick to shut it down. But I feel like just like one more Colette super there already from Totem would have really made a difference. So close in that last one. So close.
Looking to try and close out this second set, if they can, of course.
Yeah, and actually now Gear's not going to be running the Colt, and that was I actually felt like it's a good choice from Clash going into that last game. Oh, nice space shift there from Lenan. Couldn't see whether it hit regardless. I think it might have saved him, but kind of too close to really cool. Nice start from Soy going in for the early damage, and Chaos now is going to be really struggling with this 3 versus 1. Good early aggressive start from Totem, taking control of the mid, and a lot of pressure now on Clash, especially if Mari gets a super in this position. Puts down a turret, that could be the perfect place to have it, and Clash will really struggle to get out. Really, Lenan is a saving grace in that respect, having that speed to utilize to be able to push back like this aggressively. So it is probably a great thing for them to have right now in terms of the comp.
Certainly is indeed. Clash by, well, could say they're down by 16%, still very early in this game. Lenar's pushing in towards that right lane, just trying to be a little bit sneaky as he's pulled all the way back to the center now to regroup with the rest of the pack, as Chaos still looking to try and find some extra shots in to then push into the safe, which he does manage to do. Now they're up by a quite larger amount now, 16% in comparison. Now actually even more, just continuing to pile on the pressure, but at the same time Maru gets taken down by Lenan, and Brazier and Mori are just trying to save their skins in that right side, but the push needs to occur. It's already down to 24%, and you can see here Arc, but they're looking to try and finish it, and will they be able to? 4% left, but don't get it done, but we'll be able to get it in range. He should be able to here, especially with that final shot, and he does. Clash very clean fashion in comparison to that first game, and we'll be up 2-0 in the series already.
Again, I was kind of worried for Max. I felt like that she was just going to kind of drop off, but now just coming back so strong, and that was really the thing, because I felt like Totem had a great positioning at the beginning stages of that match, and then as quickly as that, Clash were able to regain that mid control, and with the help of a lot of healing as well from Guille, nothing that Totem could really do about it.
Well, it's a common saying, isn't it? Especially with Clash, you give them an inch, pretty much giving them a mile at that point, and that's what they did. You give them mid control, and that's it. See you later. Goodbye.
Cater more towards Reply Totem, just in the unpredictability of it. But look at this, triple tank for AC Milan Clash. No heals at all, just the natural ability of the healing from Rosa here. But look at this, we are seeing such a early pinch, and look at that. That super had to be earned so quickly. Mari trying to dash away, but can't go anywhere. Now this respawn is going to be brutal. We saw this already with that Frank pick in the spawn and how much it can do wonders for a team. And Clash have come out with that very idea in mind.
depending on what your opponents have selected, this composition is just absolute filth. I think we saw this last time against SK Gaming as well, didn't we? And it wasn't really something we expected them to be able to win, considering how well SK can adapt around it. But they still couldn't, even though when they knew it was coming, they still couldn't counter it. So, you know, my next question is going to be, if SK can't, well, what are TOTEM going to do here? You know, this is going to be very, very difficult and a tough one for them. For their sake, I hope they did watch that match and watch that game in particular. As you can see, they're making a slow comeback here. They're only down by 6 stars. And don't forget as well, Clash do have that blue star to their name. It's going to be Chaos they're looking for with the 5 stars. And it's going to do absolute wonders if they take them down. But Giez to Mori will take him out. It's going to be like, no, you're not coming anywhere near me. And they now need to wait for him to regroup, to pile on the pressure, because you need a huge amount of DPS and a lot of prioritization depending on the circumstances of where your team's actually positioned in terms of support.
Mari, they're just trying to break things up, and I've got to say that the comp here could be one to turn it around. Having Tara against triple tank is a key one to have with that black portal and Soy to press with the mines, but there's a good solid takedown from Lenan. The range, though, at the disposal of TOTEM for the takedown. Can they get 4 stars? I just can't see how they will. Clash will be able to go really far back on the defense. It's going to be a very clutch play if they can make it happen. Lenan is not going to be enough. They need to get 2, and Chaos is so tanky. Yeah, it's not going to be even close.
I was a little bit worried towards the left lane, but anyway, I'm not going to lie, I do like seeing that composition because it's, let's be honest, it's not a common composition. We've only seen it on this map and we've only seen it by Clash, and we've only seen it used once, and that was against SK Gaming, and they did struggle to counter it. You know, they did try to figure out some ways around it, but it just wasn't enough, and TOTEM tried to do the exact same thing. You could see, like you mentioned earlier on, right at the very start of the game, Clash were looking for the spawn kills. If they can get it, they can try and abuse it as much as they can.
Then, you know, you really are in a big world of trouble. Clash are going to play the same comp again, which is very interesting to see, and I think this is actually going to even things out, having the Rosa from Mari, but they've got to be very careful to not get pushed back into this spawn area. Not having Piper now is going to help if they do, in all fairness. And already Mari with the pickup here is putting Clash on the back for early on. Double stock from Mari. This is the thing. Having the Tara, I've got to say, it's got to be an advantage here for TOTEM.
Certainly is indeed, and what a start that TOTEM have had so far. 9-0. Of course, the blue star with them as well. And how are Clash going to respond to this? As you can see, Maru trying to sit all the way back as well, perfectly understandably, but Mori's been trapped into the right lane. It's going to be a 2v1 scenario for him. Maru tries to push it up as well. Maybe able to take him down if he can, but oh my god, they've taken so much damage. Maru's actually managed to clean him up, but Gia takes down Brazier, so they have caught up ever so slightly. And actually, no, to be fair, the scoreline's pretty much the same as how things begun earlier on in the process. So Chaos and Lenan trying to push into that left lane. Mari is going to actually find Chaos in that left side. That engagement's going to take a while, so we'll move into the center. As you can see, Brazier does manage to take another player down, and Gia is still alive. Just Mori and Gia left. If you can see Gia just trying to get away, but it's going to have his teeth, and he will be able to, as Lenan was able to support him straight afterwards.
I gotta say, the way that Clash have closed the gap is very admirable here. I mean, this is the comp where when you're behind, it's very hard to bring it back into your favor, and they have been creeping up. Now there's only 4 stars in it, and you know, one final push if Lenan goes in and has that Stomper gadget as well to hand. They gotta be careful of Mario, though. That Tara is such a strong counter to this. But here they go, they're making the play of the unfriendly Butcher's gadget pop, but there's the double Tara stuck on the right-hand side, and then Guille is going to be taking a ton of heavy fire. Will this turn around? I don't know. I don't think it will. TOTEM will take a set, and Clash are going to have to change something, because that just did not work the second time.
They certainly will have to, indeed. I think Clash were just hoping, it's like simple concepts, really. It's like, normally, like, you know, your first train of thought was, oh, they'll probably, you know, switch up anyway, but that's the problem you see, especially on a map like this, with these like different variety of compositions working. There's a lot of mind games involved, and it's pretty much guesswork at that point. Shall we just assume that they're going to stick with the same comp, hoping that we actually make the change to counter it, or shall we make the assumption that we're going to hierarch?
They're bringing in a tick, and that worries me a lot. I'm not gonna lie. They're gonna have to break open the map very quickly, or at least, you know, have some of it broken up for them, because Chaos is gonna be in the dark for a lot of this game. But the tick head now earned very quickly. It's definitely gonna be a bit of a saving grace here. he's able to use that and sort of like be able to gain some idea of where people are. He's going to be a bit of a scout for Clash as they earn their supers off the back of that super totem, which now has a bit of a cooldown as well. It will disintegrate over time. I think it's 20 seconds over time now. So a nice, more balanced gadget from the bow, but it will be feeding the supers in the meantime. 1-star lead in favor of Clash with the blue star as well. But this is looking a little bit more familiar than some of the comps we've been seeing so far.
Yeah, we're slowly going to normality, but Gear's been caught with his trousers down in that right lane. Mari will find him. Mori's taken a little bit of damage, but with that Rose, he's going to be able to get away quite safely considering the hit points he's going to be having to deal with in the side of Gear. Gear's now, all three of them actually, just in a wolf pack in that left lane. Right for the opportunity to push on all the way forward, but they've actually taken a fair amount of damage making this push, and I feel like they can't really engage. We need to delay it by at least around 5-10 seconds before they can force out that initial push once again. Will they be able to, as we are going to crack on in Gear to take down Brazier, and Mari's still in the center, but Mori's still above him with the Rosa, does use the super. Mori takes out 1, takes down 2. That is going to be absolutely huge for Totem, and now they're up by 5 stars of Chaos. Will get cleaned up, and now up by 7.
Yeah, the tick for me, I'm not overly convinced on. I kind of see the idea of it, but ultimately, let's see what happens here. Guy has got his super, as has Lenan, shutting down the left-hand side with the mines. Tickhead coming in, but taken care of pretty swiftly. Soy very weak here, and surely, the slowdown's going to affect Lenan's ability to be able to utilize his shots into the mid there. The suck from Guy is going to connect, though. It's going to be 11-13, but then extended back in favor of Totem, 16-11, and they will survive on.
Yeah, you know, ahead, that's fine, because then you can set yourself up. I can use the tick to try and figure out exactly where they're going to be coming from, just throwing those attacks out constantly every few seconds just to find out what information you can gather before that engagement happens. But in the end, when they got that one initial kill on Gia, that was it. They literally just pulled all the way back and just waited for them to make the first mistake once again. It's very hit and miss, that map. We know it can be like, especially on Bounty, but nevertheless, the composition is going to work out to start with. Is it going to be anything a bit weird, anything a bit dodgy? But we are going to start things off with set number 4, with game number 1.
Actually, nothing too crazy from Clash. Pretty straightforward. I do like the B pick here. I actually think the Nita here is coming back slowly. Kind of dropped off a little bit in terms of the meta, but I did, be sort of playing around last night with things, and Nita's in a not a bad spot for me at the moment in terms of the bear. And if you throw it in the right place, it can put a lot of pressure onto M's and others. And with the respawn, especially now, that's been the big turning point for me as to why Nita's bear now is coming back a little bit more. If you can't really have that firepower coming in from the respawn to take care of it, it can pose a problem here. Guille as well loves to get those Barley supers in a really aggressive way, so watch out for that. If Clash regain this control and maintain it, and now you're going to get a load of that last call value in. Actually, no, because they got the team wipe. Guille's going to hold on to that, and that is a smart move. Clash are putting 1 on the board very early on.
Clean, very clean there. Very. Weren't too bad, was it? And now Clash are up 1-0, looking to try and take this first game to get into another match point, of course. And now Gia just in that left lane, just trying to cause a little bit of havoc. Not before Brazier causes more havoc on the side of Clash. As they have a nice, clean goal once again. And this is just back and forth. That wasn't the response or retaliation I was expecting in the slightest from Totem, but good stuff indeed.
Yeah, the shot from Clash just kind of clipped the wall on the way through as well. I think there was a slowdown in play as well at the moment of time, so that could help explain why. But this is better as Chaos trying to establish the right hand side. But look at the bear coming in now, and Chaos is low, so he wants to be able to get the support from Lenan, which he does. Let's see what happens here. Is healing tonic going out from Guille, or herbal tonic is the technical name for it. But I've always kind of started calling it healing tonic along the way. But Chaos is going to struggle because Soy can use these walls to a good avail on the defensive side. Lenan taking a shot there as well from Mari. Or Soy's going to win the 1v1. There's the shot, and that was the one they tried to make before the last goal. And what a quick turnaround. The pass through to Soy. Can he pick up the ball? I think he should have committed to that, and maybe he may have stayed alive. That was too close to call. There was 2 bottles there, and I'm not sure whether he would have got it off before the second landed.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if there was 1 left. If there was only 1, then he would have survived 2 ticks of damage, and then he should have been fine. So yeah, you're right. It would have been very, very tight indeed, as Chaos and Gia just trying to survive for dear life here. Lenan comes out with respawn immunity, but that's it. It's going to be overtime now, and they're on the back foot here. It's Brazier trying to stay alive, and he actually doesn't. as Mori now, last person left standing, just using that barley just to make sure they keep their distance, but they're not going to have any of that at all here, because they're going to push all the way out so far as Chaos looking to try and do a bit of damage onto Brazier in that right lane. Lenar now into center, just trying to back away just a tad, or Gia just push towards that left-hand side. But Mario just doing a good job just to keep him at bay with that barley, making sure they keep their distance as well. Lenar does get the first initial kill onto Maru, but it should be it really, and that's a nice super shot there from Lenar to take that goal, take that game, take that win in that first touchdown.
Yeah, Clash were very composed in overtime, as you'd expect from a team like them, and that's how you got to be. You know, at the same time, on the other side, Reply System just weren't really connecting with the shots that they needed to, despite having big, heavy hitters like B. You know, that's a big factor in overtime, and I wasn't really feeling like Mario was really connecting with a lot of those shots, and very
into the second game of set number 4. This is the third match point for Clash, and already what a very good start. As I was talking, they've already scored the first goal. Can't be bad.
This is what Clash do. Yeah, in those opening seconds, you got to keep your eye on them because, yeah, they like to go for the early goals in the matches. They don't like to hesitate or wait around, and it can apply so much pressure. If Lenan finds the spot here and finds the right opening, we see what he can do as well from this position with Super. He's looking to get a takedown, and one is all it will take, especially if Gia can pick up this right-hand side lane. I feel like this is going a good way as Gia goes in with the last call. Can Lenan find the gap? Ooh. Oh, saved the line, but Gia is still in position here. Oh, I think So's going to get it out. Wow.
As if he got away with that. That was ridiculous. You could see he smelled it at that point. He was just ready to try and score it from that distance. And rightly so, you know, he would have done. He was very, very close. It's a little bit of a shame there. But, you know, whoever it was on the line, it actually managed to push it away as well. Got away with murder. That was just incredible stuff. It was Gear just back in that right lane once again, creating havoc here for Brazier. Brazier's taken a fair amount of damage, but Gear's still continuing on to pile on the pressure. But Brazier's like, no, I'll just be proactive and go somewhere else. He actually took down Lenan in that process. Brazier still managed to stay alive back in the left lane, keeping Chaos at bay. And it's still very, very close indeed, considering the circumstances of the first goal.
Yeah, and Mario has Super now. That's going to put a lot of pressure on Gia and forcing him back and return one at that. I think that's probably the smart thing to do under the circumstances. Lenan needs to make something of this situation here, past the Warner shot. Yeah, but the actual player already went down. It's a chance for Lenan to make the shot, Mario off the line. I feel like Clash could have been a bit more patient there, maybe, but at the same time, though, they are making their positioning count and working well together. The Bruce Bear, there was going to be a problem on that left-hand side, but here on the right goes down, and that would have been a great shot on goal had he stayed alive. But again, Clash are in the lead in terms of goals. This is a map where, you know, you can apply a ton of pressure and make the spawn trap happen. So Clash just have to buy their time. 15 seconds to remain, and I cannot see how TOTEM can get out of this one.
Oh, I don't think I do either. Chaos has taken down another player. Gear gets taken down. Mori actually managed to stop him in the end and actually don't score it. But yeah, let's be real. 5 seconds left. It looks like it's going to be okay. Clash is going to be just fine. And you can see Fairbrace just trying to score into his own goal. Absolutely typical. He knew that his team was pretty much...
But my goodness me, I mean, who is, if anyone, going to be able to take down Clash right now? They are just looking unstoppable.
I know, it's just disgusting some of the stuff they do. It's just ridiculous. It makes you sick sometimes. It's that good. And, you know, it's great to see, isn't it? It really, really is a real pleasure to watch every single time. And I like the cheeky super shots they try and pull off sometimes, just to be a little bit more unorthodox, but it also forces you on your feet and then to push you on your side at all times.